finds Hamas weapons in MRI units. Ammunition, grenades recovered. IDF blows up Hamas parliament. Netanyahu vows end of Hamas. Hamas deep dark hospital secrets. Top focus on 5 Live.
Israeli forces have intensified their raids inside Gaza Strip. Now they've issued an alert that they will be bombing even Khan Yunis in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. While Israel claims it has unearthed weapons that were kept in the basement of the Al-Shifa hospital, there are doubters who say this does not look like a command and control structure of the Hamas, and this is planted evidence. We'll get you all sides of the story. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines at 5. 40 workers remain trapped in the Uttarkashi tunnel. Giant drilling machines roped in. Fresh attempts being made to rescue those trapped. Psychological state of trapped workers also being monitored. BJP releases poll manifesto in Rajasthan, promises 2.5 lakh government jobs in the next 5 years. Women's safety and pro-farmer schemes made key focus areas. Nearly 30 days now and Delhi is still breathing poisonous air. Air quality levels hover in the hazardous category. Aam Aadmi Party government forms a special task force to combat pollution. US and China to resume military contacts after frosty bilateral concludes. Biden labels Xi Jinping a dictator. China hits back, calls Biden jibe and irresponsible political manipulation. Play resumes after slight rain interruption in the second semi-final between South Africa and Australia at the Eden Garden in Kolkata. Israeli forces say they found weapons of war, combat gear, technical equipment at the Al-Shifa hospital in the Gaza Strip. Israel continues search operations. The chief Israeli spokesperson, the military spokesperson, Admiral Daniel Hagari, has held a press briefing and he said that the military is releasing a video. Israel says they've showed some of the material that's been recovered from an undisclosed building in the hospital complex. They claim they found automatic weapons, grenades, ammunition, flak jackets. The Israeli army spokesperson walked through the basement of the hospital. Israel claims that in the Al-Shifa hospital, they found several AK series assault rifles. They found anti-personnel mines, anti-tank mines, RPGs, ammunition and flak jackets. We'll get you much more in this report. Now, there is no independent confirmation of all the weapons of war that have been found, but Israel claims that this was working as the command and control structure of the Hamas. No hostage has been found just as yet. Multiple images you see on your television screen. The Israel-Hamas war continues to escalate. Israeli forces raided the Al-Shifa hospital. They've discovered some AK-47, AK series assault rifles, some machines and some other equipment that was kept behind the MRI machine. IDF also found medical equipment and claimed there was no shortage of medicines for patients. We bring you more in this report.
After days of deadly Israeli assault, Hamas's deep dark secrets are out in the open. The Al-Shifa hospital under Israeli attack has revealed what Tel Aviv has all along been claiming. Stashes of deadly weapons, ammunition kept hidden along MRI machines, medical rooms and closets of Al-Shifa hospital. Israeli troops who raided the hospital discovered the weapons at most unlikely of places, like the MRI rooms.
We're now, as you can see, in an MRI room. I don't know when this was used the last time. But it is definitely an MRI machine. And if you follow me behind the MRI machine, I'll show you what our troops exposed just minutes ago. In military terms, this is a grab bag, grab and go of a Hamas combatant. And if you zoom in and we get some light over here, what you'll be able to see is military equipment. There is an AK-47, there are cartridges, ammo, there are grenades in here, of course uniform, and all of this was hidden very conveniently, secretly behind the MRI machine.
Stashes of weapons were also found hidden in multiple closets of Al-Shifa hospital. They include AK-47 assault weapons, live grenades, bullets, fighting vests.
The contents of the bag are full military kit for one Hamas terrorist. A live grenade, ammunition, fighting vest with insignia, boots and of course uniforms, and last but not least, standard AK-47. Inside the hospital, hidden in a secluded area.
The security cameras were also found covered so as not to leave evidence of Hamas weapons stockpile in hospital.
That Hamas systematically uses hospitals in their military operations in violation of international law, and what we have found, I think, is only the tip of the iceberg. Let me show you a few examples. Security cameras have been obstructed. All of the security cameras are covered, and this isn't the only one. You'll see the rest of them here.
IDF also found fresh medical equipment and claimed there is no shortage for patients.
So we're still in the MRI center. The backpack was found in here, and it was also hidden behind the MRI machine. As you can see, the rest of the equipment here is proper hospital equipment, right? Bandages and medical gear. It seems as if there's no real shortage because there's a lot of equipment here.
While Israel vowed end of Hamas, Palestinian Authority called attack on Al-Shifa war on the defenseless.
It's extremely critical situation when the Israeli army have raided Al-Shifa hospital. If we can call this war on Gaza, one can call it the war on hospitals.
Do you remember when we were told that we would not break into Gaza? We've broken through. There is no place in Gaza that we will not reach. There is no hiding, no shelter, no refuge for the murderers of Hamas. Israel also intensified its attack on Gaza, targeting the house of exiled Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. A day after seizing Hamas parliament, Israel army blew it up using artillery fire. US President Joe Biden backed Israel's war, saying Hamas is planning a fresh attack. He, however, cautioned against occupation of Gaza.
I can tell you I don't think it ultimately ends until there's a two-state solution. I made it clear to the Israelis I think it's a big mistake for them to think they're going to occupy Gaza and maintain Gaza. I don't think that works.
With Israel finding proof of Hamas using Al-Shifa patients as human shields, will it get further emboldened to prolong the long, messy war on Gaza? Bureau Report, India Today.
Israel, of course, says it will help evacuate babies who are in incubators in the Al-Shifa hospital. Its defense forces allege that under the hospital, there's a network of bunkers and tunnels where Hamas was operating from and using it as an op base. Israeli Defense Forces claim, of course, India Today cannot independently verify any of these images. They've been released by the Israeli Defense Forces. They claim Hamas had its operations center and was using civilians as a shield. We bring you more in this report.
The Hamas tunnels, an underground network used to hide and smuggle rockets and ammunition, also used as Hamas command and control centers.
According to the intelligence we have in our hands,
Now the Israeli army claims that one of the Gaza's main hospital, the Al-Shifa hospital, is hiding a variety of command posts and entry points into the extensive tunnel network under Gaza. Israel says that the hospital's internal department, chest and dialysis department, the morgue and the area next to the maternity department are all housing Hamas underground complex.
the material that we have in our hands. This is only an illustration.
And that the convenience store area is being used as a Hamas command and control center.
The red buildings, as I mentioned, are buildings that Hamas is using, meaning he does his command and control in different departments of the hospital, like the Röntgen room and others. He uses these places in order to do command and control for terror activities, launching rockets, etc., etc. It is here in Shifa Hospital where Hamas operates some of its command and control cells. This is where the direct rocket attacks command Hamas forces. Hamas terrorists operate inside and under Shifa Hospital and other hospitals in Gaza with network of terror tunnels.
The IDF has also released this audio to corroborate its claims.
هلا عندهم هم كل مخطط الانفاق تحت الارض ولما بخسفوا جامع ولا بخسفوا مستشفى ولا بخسفوا مسجد ولا مدرسه
كله عارفين
تحتها مراكز قياده. وين مراكز القياده تبعت الكتائب القسام؟ المركز الرئيسي وين؟
بعرفش
تحت مجمع الشفاء.
يا لطيف عن جد تحكي؟
مقر القياده الرئيسي تحت مجمع الشفاء. مدامات وغرف وقياده وكل شيء تحت مجمع الرئيسي.
The Israeli military has regularly accessed Hamas of basing leadership and operational centers in residential areas or around schools or hospitals.
عشان قلت لك عشان المنطقة الشفا أمينة بتنقصفش يعني آمن لهم حسب علمنا يعني حسب علم.
Hamas uses Shifa Hospital as a shield for Hamas terror infrastructure. Hamas wages war from hospitals. By operating from these hospitals, Hamas not only endangers the lives of Israelis, civilians, but also exploit innocent Gazan civilians as human shield. Shifa is not the only hospital, it is one of many. Hamas' use of hospitals is a systematic. Hamas terrorists operate inside hospitals precisely because they know the IDF distinguishes between terrorists and civilians.
Israeli forces have massed outside Gaza and conducted raids into the enclave in preparation for an expected ground offensive in retaliation for the deadly Hamas attack on Israel that killed some 1,400 people. Bureau Report, India Today.
And for the latest, I quickly want to cut across to Israel. Joining me now on the broadcast is India Today's man on the ground, Rajesh Pawar. Also with me is Sharon Haskell, a young member of parliament in the Knesset, in the Parliament of Israel. But Rajesh, let me quickly come to you first. Israel had said that there's a command and control structure under the Al-Shifa hospital. What has the Israeli Defense Forces, what have they been able to find to strengthen their point?
Look, Gaurav, this is a very well-known fact. Even US has admitted to this fact that there was a command and control structure under Al-Shifa hospital, and everybody knows it's an open secret. There's a huge network of tunnels, underground tunnels, which exist in Gaza. And now the challenge before the IDF is how to tackle that underground network, because that's where actual casualties will happen. That is the place where actual fight will take place. And there's also a fear that a lot of these people will use this tunnel. Hamas terrorists will use these tunnels to infiltrate into south, which now has double the density of population it had before 7th October. Because the people who were evacuated from the north of Gaza have moved south. Now, how will Israel deal with this population? How will they move them back to north and conduct operations in the south? These are big challenges now being faced by IDF, and it seems they do not have any clear answers. Gaurav.
Okay. Stay with me for a moment. Sharon Haskell, all through the past 40 days, we were given to believe that there were Hamas terrorists, including perhaps, either Ismail Haniyeh or others who would be there, Yahya Sinwar, who could be hiding in these tunnels. Ismail Haniyeh, of course, had fled to Qatar. Then came that information. Then they said Yahya Sinwar was hiding and controlling this war from this hospital, that hostages could be there. Was anything found, ma'am, or was nothing found?
So, first of all, this is a very well-known fact that Hamas is using Shifa Hospital as its headquarters. There are bunkers, there are ammunition. Just yesterday, we have published through the IDF footages of for example, the MRI section. And in the MRI section, you can see the cupboard are full of ammunition, full of bags behind the MRI. You can see them how they are hiding grenades, a bomb vest, and many more equipment to fight against Israel. So, it is a very well-known fact. Foreign press has entered today with the IDF also to the Shifa Hospital. The Shifa Hospital is a huge compound, and so it's going to take time until we unveil the entire structure that is underneath it. But it's very, very well known. I mean, these are facts. And so we were led with no other choice but to go in there in order to capture Hamas and push them out.
Okay, but any information about hostages, any evidence that hostages were kept here? Like the forces said, they were at the Al-Rantisi hospital before that. But anything about the hostages yet, ma'am?
So we can't unveil and we can't talk too much about what is happening with it. I'm sure that within the next few days we'll have some more information about it. Whether the hostages were kept there before, Hamas very much known, especially because we gave a prior warning to know when to evacuate those areas as well. So a lot of the time it makes our job a lot more difficult in capturing Hamas. But the Israeli army doesn't want to harm any innocent civilians. And so our work is far harder than the usual, but we are committed for that. And we understand that Hamas might escape when we give up notice and we give a warning, but this is a chance we're willing to take because we know and we understand that at the end of it, we will find every single one of them and we will completely eliminate the entire infrastructures of Hamas.
You know, while you do that, how would you respond to these allegations that this is a war on the defenseless? This is a war where maybe pregnant women or little children and toddlers are the worst sufferers, as was said by some Palestinian authorities today, that this is a war on those who cannot defend themselves.
I mean, are you serious? This is a war that was opened on defenseless people. Babies were murdered in their cribs. Mothers were raped in front of their entire family, including children who were raped. How defenseless were the Israelis when Hamas entered and attacked and butchered innocent civilians? That is a defenseless attack on innocent population. Babies who were shot in their bed. What did a baby ever did to the Palestinians? What did a baby ever did to Hamas? That they go and they shoot him at point blank, shooting grenades, shooting anti-tank missiles, RPGs. That was people who were defenseless. And we are now protecting our citizens. I mean, look on the leadership of Hamas. They have said if they can, they will commit the same crimes against humanity again and again and again. So what are we meant to do? Are we meant to sit at home and just wait for them? Never. We will never be butchered like that again. When we say at Memorial Day, never again, that's what we mean.
Okay.
And I understand that sometimes the world like their Jews dead, but we refuse to die. We will continue to defend our families and our children. We didn't want this war.
Yes.
We have no beef with the Palestinians, with the Gazan citizens, and all the patients in the hospitals. But then they need to rise up and say, kick them out of the hospital. Say that they will not take that again. Hamas is using them as a human shield. It's literally carry those babies and those children around them and locate their missiles and their ammunition in schools, in hospitals, in scout agent facility.
Fair enough.
What are we meant to do?
Absolutely. So Sharon Haskell, a young member of parliament in Israel, says, are we just meant to lie back and die or wait for Hamas to kill us? Well, I leave our viewers with that thought. Israel says it's fighting to defend itself, to defend its very existence. A quick break at this stage. Coming up next, an India Today special broadcast on King Kohli. Virat Kohli hitting his 50th century. He breaks Sachin Tendulkar's record, and not one, but two. Details coming up with Nikhil Naz. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Eating right. Take a deep dive into the ultimate guide based on new research by nutritionists. On what's healthy for you and what's not. Read the full story in this week's issue of India Today magazine. Subscribe now.
Do you remember when we were told that we would not break into Gaza? We've broken through. There is no place in Gaza that we will not reach. There is no hiding, no shelter, no refuge for the murderers of Hamas. We will arrive and eliminate Hamas and return our hostages. Last night I spoke again with President Biden, and we are not letting go. We will eliminate Hamas. We will achieve a complete victory.
It's extremely critical situation when the Israeli army have raided Al-Shifa hospital. If we can call this war in Gaza, one can call it the war on hospitals, the war on injured people, the war on sick people, the war on infants, the war on infants who are in incubators. It never happened in anywhere in history that hospitals are targets. What is happening in Gaza is a very obvious, very clear war crime that Israel is committing against those who have been treated in the hospitals.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Now, this is open today, secret of this OST tax. It is already open now. Yesterday itself, he told Kumaraswamy whatever he tells, It is 100% lie. 99.999% Kumaraswamy's several issues are lie. He will express. That is the reaction yesterday. What we were going to react for this?
Sir, when was this video taken, sir? Who is this Mahadev, sir? You tweeted a lot about
Mahadev is OSD. He is an ordinary labor inspector. From labor inspector to, he promoted to sub-registrar. Misusing his office. Previous chief minister. Now he is OSD in chief minister's office.
He's completely abused the position or the seat of power of his father, Mr. Siddaramaiah. And I feel they should be made totally accountable for the kind of misuse of power. Immediately action should be taken against them. The government has been always misusing its position. This is very clearly been caught in a camera where how this government has been functioning, how YST, what Kumaraswamy allegation is to be their YST, it has come true. This YST is in existence and it has been used to loot the money what was seized or in the IT raid, what was seen, what was revealed, what was seized, it is clearly indicates where the money belongs. He should answer what his son has done or his government, his officer, what he's been doing so far is right as per law. Now we should be accountable. Based on this, immediately he should resign is my request to him.